Hey you guys, it's me. I'm back again. I just want to say that it is 2025 and is a new year. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking to grow closer to the Lord this new year. And so I want to say something about spiritual growth. I want to say that spiritual growth is an inner transformation of the heart, not an external performance. Once again, spiritual growth is an inner transformation of the heart, not an external performance. And so I just want to share some signs that you may be growing spiritually, okay? And of course, I'm studying this, so I've Googled and found some information about this, and I just want to share them with you. All right, so the first one, it says increased empathy and compassion. So if you're growing spiritually, this is one sign that you may be growing spiritually. Increased empathy and compassion. You may find it easier to express love and compassion for others, animals, and plants. Okay? If you were a person who did not express that at first, but now you find yourself expressing that more, that's a sign that you're growing spiritually. Okay? When I think about empathy, I think about being able to feel what other people can feel, being able to relate and understand a situation or understand what a person might be going through or feeling. Okay? And that compassion, both they go hand in hand together. When Jesus looked upon us sinners, he had compassion for us. And it was the compassion of Christ that allowed him to go to the cross for us. Okay? Number 2 here is a sense of connection. A sense of connection. You may feel a stronger connection with all living beings, including nature. And so this is a type of person who loves to be outside, right? Outside in nature, going on nature walks, those type of things, and they feel connected. It brings them this sense of peace and connection with God, our creator. And they find that joy and they find that peace in doing so. Number 3, emotional balance. You may experience less anxiety and depression and find solace in your spiritual beliefs. Okay? So this is another sign that you're growing spiritually, where the things that used to make you anxious or make you depressed, you're finding that the potency of those things are no longer have rule over you, and you find yourself in a better place. You find yourself in a more peaceful manner. You have that solace, right? That peace that surpasses all understanding. Okay, so that's another sign of growth. Another one here is appreciation. You may feel a deep appreciation for life's mysteries and each moment. Okay, this is a person who may have been a complainer at first. You complain about everything, but now you're starting to find some appreciation in even the small things. You appreciate the fact that you woke up this morning. You appreciate the food that you have, whether it's much or less, right? You appreciate hearing the birds chirp in the morning and the sunrise. You appreciate quality time doing the things that you love to do or spending time with your family, right? Just appreciation, that gratitude, that sense of thankfulness. That's what appreciation is. You have that desire and that appreciation for life, period. Okay, another sign of spiritual growth is altruism. Altruism. You may have a strong inclination towards altruism, okay? And altruism is the belief in or practice of disinterested and selfless concern for the well-being of others, okay? The Bible tells us to don't only look out for our own interests, but to also take an interest in others as well, okay? Another sign of growing is letting go. You may be more inclined to let things happen rather than making them happen. Okay, so this is where you are say, okay, Lord, I'm not going to try to control this situation because I realize I don't have control, right? And so you allow things to just happen. You allow God to just have his way. You allow things to be Whatever's going to happen is going to happen because you don't have control over it anyways. And so you come to the knowledge of that and you realize that. And that alone brings more peace and more satisfaction and more joy. Okay? So you let go. Even you find yourself letting go of the things that used to bother you. You're letting go of unforgiveness. You're letting go of bitterness. You know, let this be the year that you let go of the things that no longer serve you spiritually. Let go of the things that are holding you back, that keeps you stagnant and not moving forward and growing in the area or the direction God wants you to. Another sign of growth is spontaneous action. You may be more inclined to act spontaneously based on faith rather than fear. Okay? Faith without what works is dead. So now you have this, you're moving in faith, right? You're doing the things that God called you to do, not out of fear, but out of faith, okay? And maybe you were a person who was very adamant, or I'm sorry, not adamant, but maybe you were a person who was a little bit apprehensive about making moves, more careful, right? You had to make sure it was the right move. You just hesitant. But now, and you were hesitant because of your fears, but now that you're acting in faith, you're able to just move spontaneously. You're able to move and be malleable and go in the direction that God wants you to go, not based on fear, but based on faith, because you trust and know that God is leading you. And so you have the faith to believe that God is with you and he's going to carry you through wherever you go, whatever you decide to do, right? You're acting in faith. Okay, another sign of spiritual growth is there's this loss of interest in conflict. You may lose interest in judging others or interpreting their actions. Okay, so maybe you were a person who was really critical and very judgmental of people, places, and things, right? You always had something negative to say about anything. But now you're at this place where God has humbled you and you are able to, you don't thrive off of conflict. You don't thrive off of being negative, because some people actually thrive off of that. Some people love to find the wrong in others. They love to criticize and judge, and not constructive criticism, just pure criticism with the intent to be malicious, okay, and to bring a person down, or just to be really critical, right? So now you're in this place where God is showing you that there is a better way, that God is showing you how to love others and how to treat other people, and to make allowance for others' faults, and to pray for our enemies, and to forgive those who harm us or do us wrong, right? So God is giving us this understanding that we are to make allowance for others' faults. We are to forgive those who offend us. We are to forgive those who don't think the way that we think. We are to be tolerant, right? We are to be accepting of people and who they are, all right? And showing that love regardless. Another sign that you're growing spiritually is this inner peace. Even in the midst of chaotic moments, you have this inner peace, knowing and trusting that God is with you, that he will never leave you nor forsake you, okay? That inner peace that surpasses all understanding, like I said before, that this peace doesn't even make sense. Like, in a situation where you should be depressed and down, you still have that inner peace. You still have that joy. You still have that contentment. There's this stillness, right? Like when it says, be still and know that I am God, that's basically saying that be calm. Don't act out. Don't react. Be calm. Have peace. Rest in God's promises. Rest in his peace. Okay? Another sign that you're growing spiritually is heightened self-awareness. You may experience, I forgot to read for inner peace. It says you may experience a state of inner peace or psychological calmness even in the presence of stressors, okay? So that was another thing to add to the inner peace. Now, when it comes to heightened self-awareness, it says you may experience a heightened sense of self-awareness and emotional clarity, okay? And I think that's very it's very important to have some self-awareness, because we have to realize that we don't know everything. We're not always right. And sometimes God has to show us areas in our lives that are not fun to know. And we have to get to this place where we're no longer in denial about the truth about ourselves. And we have to be honest with ourselves about ourselves. And so now we have this self-awareness where we know who we are, right? We have clarity on who we are as a person. We have clarity on where God has for us, what he has for us, and his purpose for us. We have clarity, right, on where we're going in life, on our goals, aspirations, or whatever it is. And we just know ourselves. We know what we're willing to accept. We know what we're willing to tolerate or not tolerate. Okay, so we just have that self-awareness. And then finally, it says here, another sign of spiritual growth is a sense of purpose. Sense of purpose. You may experience a new sense of purpose or a wider perspective on life. So I basically said that when I addressed a heightened self-awareness. Okay, you have you know you have this new perspective in life, and sometimes that doesn't take place until you go through a transition, right? And so sometimes God will change your he just flip your life upside down to show you who you really are, to give you this newfound sense of purpose. And this is what happened to me when I quit my job to become a stay-at-home mother. I asked God, okay, well, who am I now? Because I tied my identity to my job. And now I'm like, I don't know who I am. I know I'm a wife. I know I'm a mother, right? But who am I really besides that? And so I'm in this transition where I'm just rediscovering and discovering new things about myself and my purpose. Okay? And so sometimes God will have to disrupt your life to show you who you really are. Once again, sometimes God will have to disrupt your life and who you think you are to show you who you really are in him and give you this newfound sense of purpose. And that's exactly what is done with me in the past 2 years, ever since quitting my job. And so, but yes, God wants you to grow spiritually, and he wants you to have a good attitude about it. Because once again, growing pains, hurt. It's not easy growing. Growing can be stressful. Growing can be painful, but it is necessary. Okay? If we want to be more like Christ, we got to keep growing. We got to continue to be sanctified. We got to continue to be set apart, doing the will of our Father. Okay? So we can draw closer to him and stay connected to him as the true vine. All right? So that's all I really wanted to share with you guys. So take care and have a wonderful day. Be blessed.